Good morning, and thank you for joining us for SBB Live. I am your host and the publisher of Seniors Blue Book, Amanda Barton. Really excited today to bring on one of my brand new partners with Nurse on the Go Florida, Mr. Joe Thompson. How are you this morning?
I'm well, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Now, you have such an amazing background story that led you to do what you do today. So, tell me a little bit about your history and what makes you so awesome at this new job. And let's talk about what Nurse on the Go Florida is.
Happy to do so. A little bit about myself. I am a nurse. This company was founded with myself and my wife. What makes it unique is a combination of two industries, the airline industry and the medical profession. So, in my younger years, I worked for the airline as a ground security coordinator, a complaint resolution officer, and a cargo security officer. So I was working for the mainline airlines at the time, and I didn't know it. But eventually, fast forward a couple of years later, I get into nursing school, work my way through nursing school, and find this need to get patients or loved ones from point A to point B. And I can connect the two industries in a way that's meaningful for both the two entities that are involved and the patient and or resident themselves.
Yeah, and I think one of the challenges of now that you've been in the senior care industry for a while, one of the biggest challenges is when a family member wants to move their parent or their grandparent from up north down to Florida, for example. And if they need any kind of assistance, they're either going to have to hire an air transport company that's specifically designed for that, which is incredibly expensive, or a home care company, but they're paying for their trip back and forth. So is that kind of what led you to start this?
Yeah, yeah. In nursing, we look at, or I cling very closely to two concepts, the fidelity response and the fiduciary response. And both of those led me to this moment right now. The fiduciary response being a good steward of finances, because most of the folks that we're dealing with, they're adult children and they're in the sandwich generation. They're taking care of kids at home and adult loved ones in their house. These transports are usually made out of necessity. They're moving into a community or they're moving closer to adult children. And so we want to connect the two. Also, the fidelity response, being faithful to my patient, what is the most comfortable means to transport them. I have nothing against any other means of transportation, but most people don't even know that this is an option for them. So they're stuck with either the really expensive private jet charter, or they're stuck with ground transportation, which is long and quite tedious.
Well, and very taxing on a body for
Mhm.
somebody that's moving from, especially like a skilled nursing environment. They could, that could kill them, having them go through a 12, 14-hour drive. So, what services do you think it's most important to highlight? And you're a companion to these people, but you're also their nurse. So, you're giving them their medications. Talk to me about, I know we had discussed this off the call, your pay scale and how that all works as far as what services you can provide in that scale.
Yeah, thank you. So we look at when we look at doing these trips, it's concierge door-to-door service. So we are going to remove the burden of the transport, the entire thing, off of the adult child or off of the sending facility or off of the receiving facility. We coordinate with both ends of the trip, both the sending and receiving, to to understand what the needs are. Do we need to administer medication? Do we have memory care issues? Do we have behaviors? Are they going to need? Are we afraid that there's going to be a behavior in the air? And we'll work with doctors on both ends to make sure that if we're giving medication during the trip, that we are clear on what that is, and we will take the burden as nurses in doing so. Uh, how that helps the adult loved one is, even if you can fly with your parent, when you start talking about administering medication at an airport, there's you're going through the security checkpoint and the TSA is telling you, no, you can't do this, you can't take this medication, or no, they can't stay in the wheelchair, they have to stand up. We navigate those complexities with ease. Now, we've done it many times before.
Yeah, and with your experience, not only, dealing with memory issues with the community that you now work with, it's strictly memory care. So you have a way with dementia patients. I'm sure that just is an extra layer of comfort for anyone that is looking to transport their loved one, that you have the ability to do that. But not only that, the airline, like you know how to talk to these people. You talk their language, you walk the walk, right?
Right. Yeah, and a lot of that complexity lies within the Americans with Disabilities Act. What can they do? What can't they do? What accommodations do they have to make? What do they not have to do? And that's where we really get into a lot of the minutia of the trip.
Right.
Is how you speak to them is going to determine what they're willing to do for you.
Yes, yes. So talk the talk, walk the walk, and you'll be able to get them through smoothly, which I'm sure will keep them calm and make their family rest assured that they know that they're being taken care of. Now, I do think
Yeah,
one thing that makes your organization unique as well is that it's run by all nurses, being you and your wife. So it's not like you're hiring out outside help to help with these trips. You guys are doing it. It certainly isn't for the money. It's a calling of yours, a passion of yours. Just because you've seen it so often in your own current role, I'm sure.
yeah. I've seen it produce such an overwhelming burden on the family, just logistically. How do you get your mom from, oftentimes it's north. We deal a lot with New York, New Jersey, um, that kind of area up there, Pennsylvania, down to Florida, uh, safely and without issue.
Yeah.
And